Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. I'm just going to have a look at each bonsai in turn quickly prior to me doing a bit of work on probably most of them, if not even all of them. That wisteria is looking good. So we're early in the morning, early morning sun coming in from the side. Most of the garden at this time of day, up until lunchtime, is in shade because of that, which I have no control over. It's in next door's garden. It's the bane of my life, quite honestly. I hate the thing. Never mind, can't do anything about it. So this is my deciduous maple, and it's leafed out nicely following its repot, so it's obviously not suffered in any shape or form from the repot. It hasn't been pinched, and I'm not going to. I'm going to let it grow, which will encourage new roots, more leaf cover, more photosynthesis, more root growth. It's a circle. Then I will trim it back around June, probably second or third week in June. So all the long extensions that it produces I'll just take right off, and that will produce quite a lot of back budding, including back into old wood. So that's the plan for that one. That won't get any work on, not today. This European hornbeam is growing better this year because it's not in full sun. The leaves are a lot brighter and greener, and it is starting to put some extensions on, which will be allowed to grow. The tree has become weak, so it needs to grow. It's got the most appalling apex on it, which is disguised when the leaves come out, but it just goes up and stops. You know, it was chopped off before my days, and it's never grown a new apex. All the shoots that come out from the top grow sideways. I suppose I could try and train one up, but they're incredibly brittle. So work on that one, clean up the pot, get all the muck out of that, get the base of the trunk cleaned off, which will be what's going to happen to most of them. Now, under normal circumstances, my maples get what I call the pinch treatment, which means the instant the new shoot comes out between the two leaves, I pinch it off. It produces two new shoots that are tiny with much smaller leaves and keeps the tree quite compact. I haven't done it this year, other things, other priorities, so consequently we've got growth like that. That's this year's growth already. So all of it's going to have to be trimmed back and clean up the pot. My azalea, hopefully we're going to get some blooms this year. Don't see any sign of any buds yet, but plenty of time. And all that needs is a clean up. We've got algae on the surface here and some moss to get rid of, so that doesn't need much done. My other maple's the same. This is, it's grown long extensions already. They're of no use. Look, if you look at the internode there, that's ridiculous. That serves no purpose, so it's got to come off. So we will give that a trim, clean up the pot. Now my little, can't see this very well. This was my air layered trident maple. And it's growing quite nicely. I'm not going to do anything to that. It's been recently repotted. It's got some shape to it. We just let that grow on as is. And these three trident maples in this pot, three of them in there. Two of them have had serious trunk chops, and the other one's had a trunk chop higher up. This was in fact the one that had the air layer taken off of it. This is growing a bit silly, but again, just let it grow, thicken up the trunks, and then probably next year we'll get them out and sort out what we're actually going to do with them. I may not keep any of them, I may get rid of them. We shall see. I may plant one in a tub and grow it as a garden tree. We shall see. That's not a bonsai, but it's a lovely maple. Right, out here. Most of the work out here is cleaning up pots. This is my Scots pine that's become weak. Last year it weakened. Consequently, in desperation, it's decided to flower. So the work I've got to do on this one is to get rid of all those flowers, clean up the pot, and make sure this gets fed and watered well this year. I've moved it from where it was up to this end of the garden because this end of the garden gets sun up until midday, and then due to houses and things like that, it's in the shade for a fair bit of the rest of the day, so it doesn't give it quite so much stress as it's in a weakened state. So we've got some work to do on that. Clean the pot, clean up the trunk a bit. I might get the lime sulphur out and whiten the shari because it's getting quite grey and almost inconspicuous now, so we might have a go at that today. We shall see. I can only do so much in a day. I've got other things to do. Now, my beech tree was down for a repot. Now would still be a perfect time to do it, simply because it's only just coming into leaf. But I think I can leave it another year. So I was going to repot it. I'm now not going to bother. So all I will do is clean up the pot, because it's with that moss on the top of that pot and the slope, plus the media comes right up to the edge of the pot, the water runs off. So sometimes it's not getting in there properly. This is my copper beech. That's just coming into leaf. Won't be doing much with that. That needs to thicken up the trunk and get a bit of ramification. So I'll probably take some leader buds off to get the side branches to bud out and branch out. Clean up the pot again. This little juniper here needs a bit of work done on it. It could be a nice little tree. It will stay a little tree. But again, there's so much moss on that pot. When I water it, half the water just runs off. My little Japanese larch is, having been repotted, is growing mad. And it's growing wrong. Japanese larch should have very fine, delicate greenery. But the repot, the new soil and everything, has put vigour into this tree. And so it's doing this. It's just going mad. I'm not quite sure what to do with that, but I will get the little bit of regrowth of the moss out of there. And you have enough. This moss is just doing me in. And then over here we've got this joke Scots pine. You know, that one's growing quite nicely. It's got loads of candles on it. But not quite sure what to do with that. If I leave that wire on, it's going to bite in if it isn't already. Let's have a look. It's just starting to bite. I don't know whether it's been on there long enough to actually take it off without ruining what I've already done. It'll just go boing. But if I leave it on there, it's going to leave terrible marks. So job, when I do it, I probably won't do this one today. It needs a good clean up on the pot. It needs the wire taken off. And it would be nice to sort of select the best couple of candles off of this. But it's highly unlikely that this section of the tree will stay, because I don't want this to be a giant tree. So somewhere down here may be an apex at some point in the future, and this may be sacrificed, but it'll help thicken up the trunk. Now my golden larch little forest, which if I don't bend down you won't even see it, and with the weeds growing in the pot you can't see much anyway. But there's 5 little trees in there that are coming on nicely, but the pot desperately needs a good clean up. My Alberto spruce again has gone mad. There is a little bonsai tree in there, but with that amount of new growth on it, it's been lost. So I think we need to prune that quite hard and push all this new growth back, and yeah, just bring the shape back to it. And again, clean up the pot. Weeds and moss, bane of my life. And my birthday tree, my Japanese white pine, complete with weed with flowers on. Let me just get rid of that now. If those flowers seed, go down there, you. But we need to clean the pot up and have a look and see what's going on with this. This still hasn't had its branch selection and everything done on it. It's had a little bit of work, but not a lot. So probably just clean the pot up this year and let it grow. And then last but not least, up here Actually, we could have a look at this. This is not a bonsai yet. It is, but it isn't. It isn't because it's not in a bonsai pot, but in here is a lovely shaped tree. It's got some good form, but it hasn't had the branches selected. It hasn't had any work done on it by me, and it's still in a flower pot. I'm not sure what to do with that at the moment. It could get potted up into a bonsai pot now. Could get that bit done. And then have a look at the branches that are definitely not wanted and take them off, leaving what's left, which should look a little bit more like a bonsai tree. We shall see. Anyway, what I was going to say, last but not least, is my Fuji cherry, Kojo no Mei. This was stunning earlier in the year. It flowered the best it's ever done. And I've now got to desperately try and remember what I did last year and do it again this year. And I think what I did last year was I just gave it a light prune, just thinning out branches, crossing branches, take those off sort of thing, and just opening it up a bit so that we can see its shape. So, and again, the pot needs the moss getting out. So I think that's the plan for today, is to just take each pot. I probably will work on the table out here. I'm not going to film it because it's tedious, but I'll probably set my rubbish tray up on the table, get my turntable out, and we'll hack at the pots, get all the moss out as best I can, clean them all up and everything like that. And I also today will probably decide on some final positions, because a lot of trees have just been plonked. If you know the expression, you must have done it yourselves, where you just put it somewhere out of the way without making a final decision, and that means that the trees are not necessarily being displayed at their best. I mean, that's why I got these stands, to actually, you know, give the trees a more, you know, sort of individuality sort of thing. But we'll have a think, and yeah, we'll make a start on the work for today. And as I said, working outside will be a novelty for me, but I need to get on with it if I'm going to do it, because it's going to get hot and I'm not working outside in the heat. So we'll make a start. I don't think it's going to take long to do each one, just a matter of cleaning up the pot. Shouldn't take long, should it? Really? We shall see. And on some of the pots, what I might do is scrape away the surface and redress them with the ornamental grit. The granite grit, because it looks nice. That might help stop the moss coming back as well. So we shall see how much we can get done today, and I'll do another update down the line a bit after all the work and everything's been done. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for dropping by.